Sorry, I'm just contemplating where I actually want you guys to start. So, let me ask you a very actually, that could be the question, right? So, here is sort of how we're going to set the scene, right? So, as I explained last time, you ripped a building out of its foundation and tore it up through the surface of the city, causing quite a spectacle. You know, traffic stops, the people around you stop, everything just seems to freeze for a moment, and the three of you are essentially standing atop this ruined, crumbling building as it shifts upward through the sand. So it's almost like if you can imagine like this kind of thing coming out of the. It's like that scene from Aladdin where you have the giant, guardian thing like going into the sand, like in reverse.
Or the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah. So you have this giant building kind of coming up out of the sand and like upturning a lot of the sand and like causing it to shift, and like there's almost a dust cloud like underneath you.
Think of God, Powers of God from Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So that's happening. This building and there are a bunch of little, just so you have a visual, there are a bunch of little sort of crevices and like openings within this building, so it's not just like a flat structure. They're like it's like Swiss cheese, almost. They're like little holes. So you could actually like get off. I'm assuming you guys already have sort of come down off of this, or if you want to just be atop it, that's fine as well. But
I'd imagine I kind of collapsed after like lifting and dropping.
Right, you're unconscious. I think we did establish that. So you are not aware of what's going on around you. You might, in your scene, actually be in your own sort of mental realm. Maybe you might not be. Just to give you an idea, you don't need to actually be physically interacting with them. You might have your own scene, or regardless of whatever, we could flash back, do the scene we were going to do. That too, that was another idea. But I'll leave that to you. So I actually wanted to do more of a general thing first. So what you notice as this building is being upturned is that the pursuing forces are still sort of trying to you sort of blocked off the bottom portion of the city, so there's like sand coming down like on top of them as you're being sort of brought up, right? So you're noticing that immediately that they're being like submerged in this sand, and at the same time there are people sort of gathering around because you've created this big scene. So I'm going to pass it to so the big problem here, just so you have an idea, is that you are, if anyone finds out like what you did, you might be sort of prosecuted because you basically just caused massive damage to part of the city and stop traffic in the middle of this busy district. There are people who are like trying to they're not like climbing the building or anything, but they're like people are coughing and like trying to understand like what just happened. You basically caused like a disaster in the middle of the street. And it's this idea of like if someone finds out that you've done this, you could be put in a lot of issues with the law here. So my question to Jack was, how do you avoid the attention of this crowd? And I'll pass you the dice. And I have to roll the overtone, so let me do that real quick. Okay, I got 4 and a 3, so that's jovial tone. So this is more of a perfect timing.
Hello, sorry for being so late.
You are fine. You're fine.
We actually just started, so.
Oh,
So
perfect.
it's a jovial scene.
Welcome.
You're all atop. Well, Morg's character is not actually here yet, so this is fine for them because they haven't actually arrived at the scene. But I'm hoping Carl will be able to start a scene. The overtone is jovial, so yeah, it is sort of the one thing that you do notice beyond all the sand like whipping around is that it is still very hot once you reach the surface. So you went from the underground to now like it's sort of bright light is kind of, and you're high in the air, so it's sort of shining down on you almost. That sort of thing. So it's almost like a spotlight, which is why it's again kind of dangerous if anyone were to see you, because if they look up, it would be very obvious that there are people up there. And I mean, the height, it would kind of make a difference, but it's not like you have anywhere to hide on top of this building. So I am curious to see how you would heroically sort of avoid attention, or perhaps if you tied, then you would actually do the reverse, which is why I'm kind of interested to see how the roll goes. So you can go ahead, and we'll see how that happens.
You stated that we've stepped outside. It's hot outside, so it might be day.
Right.
Okay. Let me roll it out somehow on this limited space I have. Left, right, 4. Shit! Oh, for God's sake!
Many dice for Josh.
Well, it disappeared into the back of my. Well, it landed on a 6. That's all right. You. Shit.
That's fine with me as long as I'm okay with that.
Right 4, left 6.
Okay, so the right one is Glum for you then?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Glum scene. You can go ahead.
The left is 6.
Yeah. Or well, though I don't know. It's up to you then. Are they both 6? Is that
Right 4,
Yeah.
6.
Okay, so which is which for you? Because you have to tell me.
Remember, left is Roy and right is Gloom.
Okay, so then Glum then.
Okay.
So yeah, show us how you avoid the attention of this crowd. I am curious.
So we stand up. We somehow find ourselves. We somehow find ourselves above the surface. Our great heroes find themselves the surface after crumbling all the whole place up, screwing beyond grasp.
I mean, to kind of restate this, you don't actually know how this happened. The building just sort of came off the ground, and now you aren't really aware that, oh, Lilip has the ability to do this. It just happened around you. So it would, it makes sense that you don't really actually even know how you ended up, in this situation.
There's a lot of chaos around them. They, with both our great heroes, carrying our third hero who has lost her consciousness at this very moment. They both the thief and the warrior don't realize why this happened. Of course, we know that it has to do with secret power that she doesn't deny to share with us personally, but just sort of trying to find the word. I'm sorry. Not reluctantly. They have decided to show this power to their enemies. Or her enemies, to specify. Find themselves surrounded by several eyes looking towards them or amongst them, wondering what they are witnessing this very moment. The thief, he does not want to get himself caught or his fellow friends, for they probably will get themselves in trouble with everybody staring them down, believing to blame for this chaos they have found themselves in. So he whistles a code. A familiar code to those who know him. Philos Philos. He tries to call upon a friend of sorts to aid him in his endeavor, current endeavor that he is currently facing. I'm sorry, I'm also waiting at the moment. The hell's that? I can answer. It seems nobody. Though it seems that his little whistle seems not to work well at the moment, for he didn't really increase the volume of that thing. He looks about, looks around, or some form of way to make people look the other way without or even noticing them. Looking for these opportunities. He sees an abandoned stack. I'm sorry, what? He sees an abandoned hut. Hello. Hey there. He thinks of a little trick that might alert others. He sets his spark. Sorry. 40, he whispers, and then a blaze. The sound of ocean fire alerts the sound and color of the fire alerts everybody away from them. And they manage to slip away with their unconscious friend and dragging along. They sneak into away into the distracted crowd. Okay. I'm gonna put the dice now. That's the way.
So what you do is you make a demand of somebody else, and then you pass the dice to them.
Okay.
Or you can make a demand of me and give me the dice. That's also possible.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Casting the dice current, and I'm thinking, how do you deal with the fact that you are unarmed? But
I feel like you'd want to be more specific. I think you'd want to be more specific, because it's fine if he's unarmed, but like, what exactly is he dealing with? What, like, why is that? It's like, I feel like that's too broad as a question, because like, how does he deal with the fact he's unarmed? Well, there's no reason for him to be, for him needing to be armed. So why is that a hindrance to him now? Is the question. But I understand, like, that is a good starting point, but I feel like you'd need to be more specific. Because yeah, he did actually like have trouble with his weapons before, but what is specifically the problem that you'll be facing now because of that?
I suspect that he's more. I'm not sure.
Right. And I mean that's why I don't think it's a good question, because it doesn't really leave any room for him to really work with anything.
Did he lose his like arm entirely last time?
No, did he? No, it was just that his sword got stuck.
Scary stuff.
He didn't lose his arm.
Not his arm.
Oh, well, I don't know, because the session was cutting out for me. I didn't know what was happening to him. The only thing I remember was that his sword was getting caught in the narrow, passageway, because that was what we said. But if he just dropped out, I don't think you can give the dice to him, so you'll have to sort of reorient your question or your demand. It's not a question, it's a demand. We do questions in the discovery phase. These are different demands.
Okay. No, boy.
Or another option, you can choose to say you don't want to continue. That's definitely a valid option. According to what I'm reading, you can just choose not to give it to anyone else. And then we move on to another scene. Because it's the idea of, just so you have an idea, it's what you want to see from the other players. And to highlight what you love about that other player's character. So if you want to see something in particular, that's what you demand of them.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, I want to know how to deal with the dog.
Excuse me? Sorry, I didn't hear you. So.
I said, I want to know how to deal with the dog. I'm just
Oh, okay. You're kidding. Okay. That helps.
But hear me out. I'm thinking between Morgan, Dustin, but with Dustin, like, how does he do? What is he? Uh, what is it that they're feeling at the very moment? Their consciousness, or like,
Okay.
is that good
That'd
or
be fine. Yeah. So you would give them the dice,
okay?
and then Dustin would roll immediately, and then that would determine that, like the tone of their narration. Dustin, can you not hear me either? Oh, this is great. Hello? Ah. Oh no.
I can hear you if that helps.
No, I know. I figured you could. I'm just wondering why Dustin can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Did you pass out or something?
Kind of, yes.
And you passed out in the game, passed out in real life.
In real life.
Carl, you put him to sleep. Good job.
How to get in character featuring Dustin.
You literally put him to sleep. This is embarrassing. Okay.
Well, that means I'm a good storyteller. Because if he needs to go to bed, I can go ahead and tell him a story to put in bed. I'm a good dad.
You all right?
Yeah, I just completely missed my nap then, so.
Oh, okay. Do you want to? You don't need to stay if you don't want to. It's okay with me. I have other stuff I can. If you're too tired, I can.
I mean, if you guys want to continue playing, like, I don't. Kara's left the chat, so I don't know if he's having issues or not.
Oh, I mean, like, if you need to go, you can go. I can do the rest of it with the.
All right,
people
I'll probably be back soon. Like,
Okay.
I don't need too much. Just sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's okay.
I'll come back later, I guess.
Mom, I'm doing a thing.
Good luck.
I'm doing a thing.
Okay,
like-
so
2 more hours, I think.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe another hour at this point. Probably not too long. But I did want to do so you would then pass to Morg at this point, and then make a demand of them, and then I'd probably the next scene would probably be that flashback I was going to do.
okay, so I'm thinking
What demand you would make of them? Yeah, go ahead.
how would they encounter the enemy that we have encountered? And how would they deal with it? I'm thinking right now. Is that good or no?
So your thing is how they encounter the whole gang and the cultists.
Yeah. How we
and,
go?
and then how? Okay.
Oh, that's also like how we-
I feel like that's very vague again because it's not really giving a specific like direction for them to go with that scene.
okay.
You know. Because like I'm saying like how do you avoid etc. If you're just like how do they meet with the, I don't really feel like it's direct enough. I feel like you need to give them a little more guidance to work with because if you're letting them decide the entire thing, it's kind of a bad demand. You're making a demand. You're like, you want to be really direct with like what verb you use. So if you're like, okay, how do you kill whoever, then that's like really specific. If you're like, how do you meet whoever, then it's like
How do
very
you kill
vague.
this person with a butter knife? That's a good
Yeah, I mean that's a demand, right? But if you're just like, hey, how are you integrating yourself into this situation? It's like it's so open ended that it doesn't really feel like
How
you're
do you
making.
fight off the gang without using with limited magic? Because you have eyes upon you, and you don't want to get anybody's attention or get screwed over by the police around.
Well, that was a thing that they were dealing with, yeah. But like, were they? Because they're still in the city. So why? Okay, well, I guess that would be part of the demand, right? You want to know how they even have to deal with the gang because they're not even in the same area. And so it'll be up to Morg to figure that out, I guess.
All right.
So
Or no.
so yeah.
So
Because I think what the crux of that demand is that there are these people who are now coming after you, and you can't just use magic to make them go away because it's a crowded city and there are people crowding around, and we've established that you can't just do that. So that's the point of the demand here.
Am I alone in this, or do I still have the Thief Master's daughter with me? I believe he was.
She's with you, yeah. And I'm going to go back and explain why later, but she is with you, yes. And if you want me to sort of play her out, I can do that.
I don't think there'll be any problem with that. And I'm getting confronted with this gang that's coming after us.
Yeah.
In character,
Emerging from the sand, I'm assuming.
emerging from the sand, this gang is coming after me, and in character, I would know why they're after me.
No.
They're just coming for my throat.
Apparently, yes.
And
I mean, you can determine why for yourself. That's kind of part of the point.
I see. And I can just make up anything I want.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, once you roll the dice, you can just do whatever.
All right. So crowded city district getting surrounded by gang member. There's a bunch of people around me.
Oh, just to clarify, did you want me to play this? Well, I know her name, but you don't know it yet. But do you want me to play her, or did you want to do that? Because
I think I'm just gonna have her be like as a background character in a sense.
okay, so for this scene, she's there, but she's not like directly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll tell her. I'll say what her actions will be, but I won't be voicing.
Sure. And you can do that because that's perfectly within your right. You know, it's not like she's a player, so you can just do that. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll for Glum first,
Okay.
and I get a 3, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll for Jovial now, and I get a 3 again.
Great. So you tie. Wonderful.
That's
So-
2 3s in a row. Oh boy.
So Carl, what specifically did you ask? I'm curious.
like I asked, how could you fight off these people without using
Oh, okay. So here's where the fun part comes in. So
not that much? Like
So you've tied, and it is a mystery. So some supernatural or unknown force prevents you from fighting off this gang. So maybe this is an example. Maybe you're captured, or they affect you somehow through some unknown or mysterious force. Maybe they are these priests who are cursed, or they're these cultists involved. Maybe they're using magic, or maybe there's some other. Maybe you're ambushed by them. Either way, it's some kind of mystery, like how they. Or maybe the mystery is, and again, this is a good. I'm kind of just giving you ideas here. Another one could be you don't know why they're after you. That could be the mystery. If you don't want to answer that could be the mystery in itself. Like, why are they after me specifically when they didn't know who I was before? Why are they after me? Or the mystery could be inherently like the problem itself that you're dealing with.
And I can't play back against this. All right.
Well, so you can fight them, but you don't fight them off. So you don't like actually succeed in completing the goal of okay, I'm going to fight them off and deal with them without using. Or maybe see, here's the other flip of that coin. You can fight them off maybe by using magic, but then that has the consequence of so you don't succeed at doing it in a way that's inconspicuous. So whatever you do to defeat them is going to obviously either be illegal or draw attention to yourself. I think that's the key. So you could do either or. You could do, and you have a choice. Or you could do both. You could fail and use magic at the same time, which would be double bad. But you could do either. I think either option would be plausible.
And would failing just mean I don't defeat them, or would failing mean being captured by them or killed?
It's up to you. That's up to you. You choose what that means for you. The idea is that you don't actually fight them off, so they don't flee. You don't fight them. You don't defeat them.
All right.
And or you use magic that you aren't meant to, or get attention that you don't want on you at the point. Normally, I'd say you have to include both, but I'll go with and or on that other one. And then you also have to include some mystery or unknown force that's also affecting you in the situation, whether it's their method or their motive.
Okay, I have a pretty good scene painted out in my head. All right.
Okay, go ahead then.
Ivy is walking through the crowded streets with this girl that she had saved. Luckily, she had escaped the authorities, but she felt that something else was watching her. It reminded of how back home she had always felt there was always someone behind her, over her shoulder, someone that was constantly watching her.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, as she manages through the crowd trying to lead this girl on, she hears a few gasps. And when she turns to look at the source of this, she sees a bunch of cloaked, she can't really tell if they're men or women. And when she looks at them, she tries to make out their form, but they're like the cloaks they wore, it's almost like the sand. They shift with it. So it's very hard to make out a definite shape. She could tell, though they haven't said anything or they haven't raised anything against her, she could tell that they've been watching her and they were trying to get after her. So she puts a hand on her sword and she prepares to use her magic. Her eyes start to glow purple. It's not relevant to the crowd at this moment that she's using magic, but right when it looks like she's trying to use some sort of magic, the leader of this group of gang members raises a hand, and in the palm of his hand is this glowing blue eye, a tattoo, right? And the second that he raises it towards Ivy, she's struck with a crippling headache, and she just immediately just grabs her head in pain. Mm-hmm. As her magic just slowly begins to flutter away. It's like as if she was holding like a chain in her grasp, and all of a sudden it was just ripped away. And it left a small mark on her. So it's clear to her that whatever this, to her, it's some sort of magic she's never seen before, if she can even call it magic. But there's something that's forcibly not taking away her magic, but whenever she tries to hold on to her own power, it's forcibly ripped away from her. So she still has it, but if she tries to use it, it just keeps getting taken away from her hands forcefully, and it hurts. Mm-hmm. Yet she still draws her sword as if to defend herself, as the center person, let's say there's about 7 of these gang members. The center person is standing fast with his hand held up, the eyes still pulsing at her, as the others begin. 3 of them take out weapons, and the other 3 take out what seems to be some sort of bindings for her. As she draws her sword and she begins to back away, the crowd around her has immediately fled at the sign of these enigmas. And she's slowly backing away, still clutching her head in her left hand and holding her sword out with her right. The girl that's with her is cowering behind her as if worried. She looks as if she's going to try and fight them off, but it's clear that after the first brunt of pain she got from this weird suppression, mysterious force, she can't really do much in terms of magic, and she has to rely on her swordsmanship. As they slowly like close in, like a pack of animals singling out a single prey, she hears a large, it's in between like a small shriek and a growl. And all of a sudden, from the rooftops, Lizzie, her pet lizard, plops down in front of her, causing the girl behind her to shriek in surprise. She looks to say something, but what the lizard does is they take their tail and they make a giant swish against the sandy ground, and it causes like a small dust cloud to appear. And though it blinds the these gang members, if Ivory looks past her lizard, she could still see the pulsing eye, as if staring into her soul, that as if daring her to try and use more of her magic. But seeing as the rest of them are distracted, she quickly sheathes her sword and climbs onto her lizard with the woman. And as best they could, though the men would try to chase, Lizzie would carry her through the rooftops, seeing as they wouldn't be able to follow as easily over that sort of terrain. I'd say this would continue on until they reach a place where they would be able to hide much easier, like a small stable.
Okay. So from here, you would either pass, because we have now two people. You could either pass to Carl and give Jack a demand, or normally I wouldn't do that, but in this case it would make sense. You could pass back to Jack and give him a demand, or pass it to me and demand something of me as the GM to define, or you could choose to end the scene. So you have three choices. And then once you decide to do that, by the way, that I would just kind of go into the flashback and then it would end. So the next scene we do will probably be the last one. Just so you have an idea.
Well, I'm thinking before we do a final scene, I'd like to meet up with Jack once more. So I'm going to pass a dice to and demand of Jack, how in some possible way does he find me and Lizzie with the girl after we just fled this chaotic
I still feel
scene?
like that's fine, but it's not very interesting, because it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, how do you meet up with us? It's like, yeah, but is that like a heroic demand that you're making of them that would be like meaningful, right?
I see. All right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that line of statement. I feel like you could do that while also implying, something else, if that makes sense. Because, it's very straightforward. Like, let me put it to you this way. You're doing this from the perspective of something cool you want to see him do. Is that cool for him? I don't think so, personally. Like, that doesn't seem like a very heroic, cool thing for him to do, just meeting up with you, right? Right? If you follow me, right?
Yeah.
So if you said something like, okay, here's a good, I'm not saying do this, but if it was something like, how do you wade through the monkeys on the rooftop to get to you on the rooftop? That would be a better demand, right? Because you're at least giving him some sort of vector to work with. If you just say, how do you meet with us? That's not like I'm not trying to I'm just trying to explain how the game works, right? So you have an idea.
All right, I think I have an idea then.
But the idea is you're trying to give him some heroic action to perform through this deed. So whatever you're asking him to do should be something cool that you want to see him do, not just something mundane that he could do without effort, right? In general.
Right.
I don't think what you're demanding is bad. I just think that it's kind of mundane in the sense that anyone could do that.
Well, how about this? It's quite obvious that these men had a reason to try and capture or harm me. So I'm going to ask Jack, how does he shake these bandits off my tail
Right. Okay, that's better.
as he finds me.
Right. Okay, that's a little better. I like that. Yeah, fair. Okay. And just so you
I'll roll?
have like yeah, you would roll immediately. Yeah.
You gonna say?
I'm definitely getting this visual of this lizard jumping across the rooftops while you're sort of in the alleyways, but you can see it above you. I'm just definitely imagining that happening right now. So you are able to see what's going on as we move into this next part. Like you are visualizing this action happening. Like so you're aware of what's going on above you. And you would recognize everyone involved as well because you know them. And you know the thief's daughter as well because you helped save her. So you know who everyone involved is.
Okay. Okay, left 3, 5 right.
Okay. So that's Glum again.
Okay. The trio, well, the duo with a third wheel who's got a dragon behind, broken.
Through the wheel. Yeah,
That's
I'm
an
writing
awkward
that
tricycle.
one. I'm writing that one down. That one's good.
I need a link to the document, please.
Okay, I'll give it to you in a sec. Hold on. I want to write that one down, and I'll give you the document. Yeah.
Well, I got it. Put it up. There you go. It's on the chat.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. You got it? You wrote it in?
Yeah, I think they're in now.
Okay. They crawl about the alleyways, hiding away from the eyes of many. I'm sorry, what? Guys?
No, I didn't say anything.
I heard something. I was wondering what was that. Hiding away from the eyes of many. One Jack hears a tremendous noise. He looks about and sees an old friend he has seen for a while, with a giant lizard by her side, and the other person, the girl they were meant to get out, or rather save, from the intricate and rather interesting place of many unsinful ways that are rather sinful. But then again, that's all a matter of perspective to some. He turns towards his friends. I wouldn't say duo, since one of them is broken up. He tries to call upon other friends he could gather, but he realizes that would probably catch the eyes of those who he does not want to attract. So he tells his friend, whose name I forgot, I'm sorry, Ishtak, to wait here and to look after our dear friend.
Yep.
Okay. He goes around the alleyways, making his way to where he saw his friends. As he gets closer to the alleyways, he peeks about from the alley and sees some strange but familiar figures in certain cloaks. He's a sort of light, mysterious light in the hand of one of them. Makes him feel uncomfortable. Makes him feel on edge. Well, he hears some noise in the background. He walks by the cafeteria with some kicking noise about. We'll try this back in that. I wondered if he could bark in another floor. Perhaps he could. Oh. Hello, Kara.
Kara.
Welcome.
Arr.
Welcome back.
Lucky grip. Thank you.
So, do you want to recap?
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so pretty much what's happened. We escaped. I set something on fire to distract everybody. We escaped, but then I forgot the Morg's character's name.
Ivy, yeah.
Is getting attacked by fucking bandits of the gang who are sucking up her magic power or something like that, or preventing her from using it, actually. And then her young lizard friend appears to, out of nowhere, and just throws dust over the place, and now they're blinded, sort of, but they're still coming their way. And then Jack notices and stuff, and now he's over there going to save the day, and I told him to stay behind because Lilith is unconscious, so I told you, wait here, I'll be right back. And then you stayed behind an alleyway.
Yeah, Ishtak has to take care of Ashley. Shove her in shove Lil up in a dumpster. She'll be okay.
Sleeping
Well, here's
dumpsters builds characters, I'll have you know.
It's ironic to me because Dustin actually needed to go to sleep. So it's just like, well, I'm like, oh, of course they're unconscious. That makes so much sense.
They need this.
Reflection of the world. It's happening. This is Persona.
Oh God.
God. Anyway, Carl, were you done, or did you want to continue?
I'm continuing. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So the set off the. I was gonna go first person. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's just the noise is a bit distracting.
You're in like, I'm imagining you're just in a fun house. Like there's all these noises, like a circus.
Trying to concentrate over here, guys. Come on.
and then like a clown with a horn. Just,
You son of a bitch. Oh. From the alleyway, Jack once again whispers fortune to one and sets ablaze one of them. Once again, the gang member screams about, runs about, set ablaze by the flames that were sparked from the hands of the man of Astrea. Bartelf of Astrea. Whatever you decide to say. The man with the glow in hand notices this. Finds it strange. He looks forward towards the rather large lizard that stands before him, providing a blockade for protecting his target that he wishes to eliminate notices that he has not played any tricks. He's the one who stopped her from doing anything. How is it possible that such a thing is happening at this very moment? Henrietta is playing with fire. He looks and looks. He tells his friends to look about. Suspicious men. One goes to one of them, two of them. Oh, no. Sorry, I just realized I need mathematics. I'm sorry, audience. I'm slow. I'm not a good improv and shit. Two of them head towards the alley. Head towards the other way. And the last two, well, one of them cannot go on. For he's set up in place, and the other one is trying to tell him to roll, drop, and roll, but he's still screaming about, yelling and screaming that he's ablaze, on fire. He cannot put the flames away, for it is too hot for him. Even in this rigid land, such a thing has never happened. Actually, it has been several times. It was really freaking hot. Jesus Christ, when are they going to get air conditioners or some water? For fuck's sake. Oh. Jesus. Give the narrator a moment. He needs a bottle of water.
Ah, so this is now your self-insert. Are you on fire too? I hope not. This would be bad if you were.
Is it green flame?
I'm on fire!
No, I don't think his flames are green. I think they're just flame.
Yeah, he's not the green guy. Okay.
Oh, okay then.
Two gang members who proceed towards the other. What? Okay, I'm just hearing background. Okay, someone's talking.
Are you hearing things? Should I be worried about your mental health? Like, do I need to be?
I actually hearing some things from you guys. I'm thinking some
The voices are telling me to use more fire.
Carl, we're not saying anything. So you shouldn't be hearing any voices telling you to do things. Just
I'm hearing like background. Like I think from you.
Oh, well, I think that's my family.
Yes, it is.
I'll mute then. Hold on.
Okay, so I was saying, two gang members proceed down the alleyway. Hearing some clinks and kinks. Sorry, someone stepped in and said, "Hey, I have a question," and then they asked me the question, and I said, and I answered the question, so I'm back. They hear clings and kinks. It sounded wrong, but let's just go along with it. Just a tap, tap, tap. There and there and there. They see a shadow just standing there at the end of the alleyway. They both pull their swords. Well, it's well, asking, demanding, or answers from this shadowy figure. Asking, who are you? Who is this? Hey, you a magician, man? I want to see your license, brother. There's such a strange world we have here. It's really weird. Come on, brother, show us your magic shine. And as they approach, they get no answer. They get tired, frustrated even. And one of them just rushes him, just shadow. The shadow drops dead. And the shadow doesn't know what to think. Because if you stab a shadow, what happens? Nothing happens to a shadow. It's a shadow. Why would you stab a shadow? You dumb motherfucker.
He just wanted to attack the darkness.
Oh, you know, not even the magic missile works. But then these idiots think they know better, but then they find themselves that they have just stabbed the darkness. And darkness proceeds to stab them back, both of them. And now they find themselves in the pool of their own blood. That's pretty much cut the back of the necks open. This rather small blade. It's really small, it's just a sword cut in half, but because he doesn't know how to pull a sword out of wood. He's that bad at it. He's worse than Dave Strider. References.
It's pretty brutal.
He leaves them to boiling in there. And he thinks of a plan, rather brutal, of course, but it will catch his eye. Well, not his eye, but the other guy's eye. He sets him ablaze once again. It seems rather pyromaniac. I can say, I'm sorry. And this. Hold up. What?
Gracias, niño. Muchas gracias. Pusimos cosas vivas, no le dimos
Wow. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody asked me once again for a request. I had to play it for them. The man with glowing eyes notices the fire, and then he looks towards there. It swiftly runs over to the flaming corpses of his dead comrades. Startled, while the other four seem to have ways to look in somewhere else. One of them's dancing. One of them's trying to stop the dancing because they'll leave matches. And there's just dust all over the place, driven away from the big lizard and the big lizard, Ivy, and the rescued girl. And now I shall pass the dice. You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what demand you're gonna make now. I'm curious.
Turn off the lights.
Well, it's
Okay.
not. The guard hasn't gone yet.
True.
Hikaru, did you lose your armor last time? Kara? Hello? Was my his fault too? Is that bad?
No, I'm assuming they can't hear you.
Kara! You want to go over there? To Australia? You want me to get a plane or something? Kara!
I mean, he dropped out before, so maybe something's going on with him.
Oh no.
Kara! Do you require some help over there? He disappeared.
Never heard from the young Kara ever again.
So, do you want
We
to
must get
give it to
the
me?
plane to Australia now.
Okay, calm down. Okay,
Well, I am down.
so I'll ask you a simple
I'm
question.
fucking calm.
Do you want
What?
to pass the dice to me, or do you want to end the scene? Let's answer that question, I guess. That's what's relevant right now.
If I pass the dice to you, what I have to do?
You would demand an answer from me about something of the world. And then if you don't want to do that, then you would end the scene.
Well, I've done what I've been told to do, so I guess we can end the scene.
Well, you could, yeah, so you'd rather just end.
Unless someone has an objection to that.
No objection right now.
Okay.
Okay. Let us end this scene and move to the next chapter of Dragon Belisty.
Okay. So I wanted to give more of the scene they were waiting for. So Carl, if you could mute, that'd be good. And then I could kind of do this scene that I wanted to play out before.
I shall never be a mute.
Okay, good. So, I want to sort of travel back in time for a moment. So, we can assume that Jack is dealing with these ruffians in the background, and at this point, I'm probably going to end up saving all these motifs for the next session if we do one. I'm not sure if I want to do another one, but I do want to at least play out this scene, and then if you're interested enough to continue, then we can do that. But I feel like I'm satisfied enough. Anyway, I will grab that real quick. I need to go find it. Right. So essentially, I have it written down here. So we move back to when you were escaping from the guards. Feathers flutter in the air as you and the thieves' daughter make it back to the ground with a soft step. Your forms shift suddenly from avian to humanoid, feathers molting and emerging out as if being born from the womb. You're not naked or bare, however, your possessions and clothes assumedly went with you along your airborne trip, sort of subsumed into your form. The girl, Valentina, sort of embraces you with an eager smile and a jovial sort of laughter. That was really fun. she's like chuckling and laughing and sort
I'm
of
certainly
taking
glad
in
you
the whole
enjoyed it.
situation. I don't have to imagine what it's like being a bird anymore.
You get used to it after a while.
She just sort of nods and moves over to the doorway where you met with this with her father before. Sort of knocks on the tea house door, specific amount of times, 5 times against the door, with sort of an intermittent rhythm. So it's not just, but it's more like that kind of thing. It's like a rhythmic sort of. And the door slides open. She runs to her father, burying her face in his chest. "We flew in the sky, Father. It was amazing." He turns to you. "What did you do to my daughter?"
I didn't do anything to her. I just got her away from them. She was going to be turned to a sex slave, you know.
Oh, I'm quite aware, but he sort of hands you the antidote he promised. This was our deal, was it not?
Why, yes, it was. Thank you.
And a warning. If you used magic openly in the city, it probably means that they are going to double patrols. You've made my operations around here that much harder. But you saved my daughter. So as they say, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll have to fix that, though.
He sort of raises an eyebrow, noticing that the people who were around before aren't with you. He says, "So where'd your friend run off to?"
Well, the guards were only after me, so I thought it was best for me to detach myself from them, from the mess.
Well, if you need help finding him, I can round up a search in the morning. We've got eyes everywhere. For tonight, you can stay here while the heat dies down.
Thank you. Though I might have declined that
I did.
first offer. I wouldn't want you to get dragged in more into this mess.
Oh, all right. It only saves me the work.
As it should.
And so from there, you, assumedly the next morning, left with Valentina, and now we're caught up to where you are at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I did actually reinterpret the whole eyes everywhere thing. So I feel like that's good enough for me to say I've done at least one reincorporation. Anyway, that's all I wanted to sort of wrap up here. And from there, I think I will end this